Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about: money. Yes, I know. Money typically gets a bad rep, right? Everything that is like most of the sayings out there about money are negative, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Money can't buy you love. Money can't buy you happiness. All the things that money can't do and all the things that money won't do. But I would like to reframe the mindset around money. How can I change my outlook on money? How can I change my financial future and really dispel some of those beliefs that we have around money? And because all that does is really work against us and really keep us from manifesting and living in this life of abundance and overflow, because we're told that it is not the right thing to do. So how do we improve our outlook? How do we improve the different things in relation to how we make money, spend money, etc.? And so I wanted to share 3 of the top tips that I've learned about money, money management, money mindset that have really helped to change my financial outlook and really helped to elevate my financial position. One of the first things that I learned, and I learned this very early on and it helped me tremendously, was to set a baseline budget for like what your zero balance would be, right? My husband taught me this when I was probably 20 years old and I had my first overdraft, and it was a $35 fee, which is like a gut punch when you have no money. How are you going to charge me for I don't have money, and you're charging me for not having money.
I don't have money. How am I going to give you the money?
So what my husband taught me as a result of that was to set a different zero baseline budget. Different zero baseline dollar amount, right? So, it can start off, maybe you're not in a position to really set it that high. So you can kind of work your way up, start with $10, $20, and then work it up to whatever is going to put you in a position where you can feel comfortable, where you can feel like if there is something that does come through that was unanticipated, unexpected, or you have an expense that came up that you were not really prepared for, that you have a little bit of this cushion to really put you in a place of some type of comfort or feeling like, okay, well, I'm not going to get charged these overdraft fees or whatever the case may be. And so really setting that different baseline budget was really helpful and really impactful because, I won't say how many years later, but a lot of years later, I'm still implementing that and have been over the years working towards making it even higher so that way I can create even more of a cushion. One of the other things that I've done for several years is creating a budget and sticking to it, right? And I have, considered not having a budget. And so some people will suggest that having a budget is a limitation because then you are putting a cap on the amount of money that you are able to spend within a certain category. Believe what you want, but I just felt like it was responsible for me to have a budget and to adhere to it. And so one of the things that I did maybe a little differently to kind of tweak it was to really break down my budget even further. I would have one bucket where I would allocate money for various things. And so what I did with that is I would bring out certain aspects of like, I'm going to spend this much money on doing something fun. I'm going to spend, this much money on giveaways, right? Or donations or whatever the case is. And so then really having those buckets of things that I contribute towards really felt meaningful, those ways that really felt meaningful really helped me to in essence kind of create more of a mindset of expansion, if you will, because I was considering taking that bucket of money and expanding it into various other aspects of my life. And so it didn't feel like there was this limitation of this one area where I had this money to spend, but there were multiple areas that I had this money to spend. So it's kind of a mind game that you play on yourself. And even if it's just a small dollar amount, it's just something about kind of having it separated makes it feel a little bit more expansive, a little bit more abundant than just having this one category. So again, kind of a mind thing, because at the end of the day, the dollar amount doesn't change, but it's just the perception of, how that money is allocated that can make a world of difference, because a lot of things about money are around, what we think about money, how we perceive money. So again, with some of those negative things that we've been taught about money, that just creates this limitation. So any of the things that we can do to really trick ourselves into believing differently about money is really going to make a world of difference. So the final tip that I'm going to share today is, so we talk about our budgets, right? And when people want to save money, they'll look at where they can cut, right? I've been there, I've done that. And one of the things that I was introduced to that I thought was really profound is that there are limits to how much you can cut, but how much you can earn is infinite. There's baseline expenses that we have to have, right? And there's only so much that we can cut from that. But the amount of income that you can earn is infinite, limitless, right? And so whenever we talk about people trying to save money, pay off debt, it's usually encouraged for people to look at where they can cut back. And while, yes, that's a good approach and that's a good thing to consider, again, there are limits to how much we can cut back. So, people always get grief about, buying these expensive coffees every day. Like, okay, you can definitely cut that back and you can definitely save there. But again, that's only going to move the needle so much, right? But how much you can earn, other jobs that you can take on, into, whatever abilities and skills that you have that can earn you some money, it's really infinite and limitless, and the possibilities are just enormous, right? So that is one thing that was really helpful for me to kind of shift my mindset. Again, money mindset around how we can adjust our income and what it is that can really impact our budgets and our inflow, and not focus so much on where we can cut back and the lack that creates, because it also becomes, people feel like they can't really live. They feel like they can't really enjoy their lives, that they can't go out to have dinner with their friends because they can't afford it, don't have the money to be able to do that. And you may be in a position in different seasons of your life where that may be the case. And so, but I feel like it's a great way to reframe, to think, okay, well, yes, I can cut back in these areas, but what is it that I can also do to help offset it so I can earn more? So that way I don't have to keep on giving up all of these luxuries of life, or these, the enjoyment of life, or the fun, or the excitement of life. Yes, be responsible. Yes, I would never encourage people to blow all of their money on an experience, because we do want to make sure that we are responsible with our resources. But I do think that it's great, and it has for me been a great shift in considering, what we can earn versus only having to always cut back. I hope you enjoyed those. Those were 3 of the top tips that I have learned over the course of time in relation to money and how it's been transforming my life, my financial mindset, and the path that I've been on to just really achieving more.